What's going on, everybody? LK here, and today, a little guilty gear for you. So I wanted to revisit something I talked about really early when the game came out, and it's mostly about how to deal with disjointed attack. For people who don't know what a disjointed attack is, the concept is an attack that has a hitbox outside of the hurtbox. So it means that there's a spot of the attack that you pretty much can't hit straight up. Having moves like this, how strong they are really varies by the game. In Strive, it is extremely strong because unlike Classic Guilty Gear, in Classic Guilty Gear, characters have a lot of disjointed moves. It's not uncommon for characters to have disjointed moves. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. But in this game, it is not so common. So even now, it was a big problem when the game came out that people had, but even now, it's definitely a big problem. I have May here, Lady May, because she has a couple of them, and probably the standout. So surprisingly, it's not like all of them are super scary. They are scary, but the big one is 5H for sure. Last time I talked about it, I gave some examples in training mode, but this time I wanted to show off in a match how I deal with it, how I think of it. And the main way you deal with disjoints is that you need to know what moves are disjointed and recognize where you are on the screen relative to the other characters. So not just in the perspective of, oh, I'm avoiding this move, because basically you're aiming to avoid the move or hit the spot that's vulnerable, but also pay attention to where you are on the screen because the return is going to vary a lot. So in the case of May, I play much more defensive slash I'm going to try to avoid these moves when my back's to the corner, because if I get hit by 5H, so like in this type of situation here, if I get hit by 5H, I am dead. So I'm going to keep on picking generally defensive movements. May herself has a lot of strong attacks, but the main disjoints we're going to be looking at will be her 5H, her 2S, and her far slash. These are the main ones I'll be looking for while I'm playing against her. Milia has disjoints too, but not in a traditional way. She has S-Disc, which is a projectile. She has Hair Car, which is disjointed but severely punishable. And she has Capel, which is a move that's designed to beat anti-airs, but the return is not very high on that. Also, all characters have 6Ps that are disjointed. They're upper body invincible at least, but for May, she's not really using them in neutral like that. The way I try to play this match is that I really want May to overextend. She can win this way because her return is really high, but the fact that she has to overextend makes it that so she has to work, and if I catch her with a knockdown, I get to run my game plan. So despite me getting hit quite a bit, she has not hit me with any of her disjointed moves, so I haven't taken any significant damage. Amelia doesn't have a lot of life, so it looks like I took a lot of damage already, but I've mostly taken just strays and things so far. So here I get a little bit more pressure. A misinput for you here, and now my back's to the corner, so I'm going to be playing much safer because I don't want to get hit by something that's going to kill me. A lot of May's high damage combos come from her having your back to the wall and her having meter. So let's look at one more round in slow motion where I'll break down my movement again and see if you can follow why I am moving the way I am in order to avoid these attacks. So I retreat immediately. So her 2S is actually really good against Milia at round start, and it beats basically all my counters that beat Dolphin. So I'm looking for Dolphin or disjoints. I choose to just peel off. So one thing about May 2 is like when she uses 2S, her other normals generally don't reach. So that move is a disjoint and it's big, but she's generally going to go into Dolphin, which is not an advantageous move. It's -5 on block. So that means you can definitely try to do something. Again, my goal is to make May overextend, so I always try to move in a way that she has to like chase me. So he had problems catching me. I got a counter hit, so I get to mix up. He bursts, so we're gonna go back to this normals game. Here comes the Dolphin. I back off. Here comes the Dolphin. I jump this time. He tries to push. Unfortunately, my JH doesn't connect. I put him in the corner now. I take my turn. Because he charges with Dolphin, so I know it's an annoying move, but it is pretty committal. So the main thing that's hard about it is that it travels fast, but if you cover the space ahead of time or move in a way that will protect you from it, you can see it and hit it the way I did. And because of that, we put him in the game situation and take the game. So the next round starts the same way. So again, he uses the disjoint at the start of the round. I get out of the way. Because of that, though, I get a really early hit, and I get to run Milia's game plan. So I say a lot like she's not good at making plays, and I do believe that. But once she does hit you, she's incredibly strong. And Mei doesn't really have good defensive options like DPs or anything to get out of this. And she's light, so she's easier to follow up on, and you might get some special mix-ups you can't get normally. So I get a little run under him because he tries to jump in with a single jump. Milia's pretty good at that. Her run's really low. We hit the cross up. Basically, we pushed our turn so hard from the first hit. So he'll have to burst pretty soon. Or he could just lose. It'd be like that sometimes, friend. Okay, but hopefully all that made sense. So the general strategy is you need to know the hitbox and hurtbox of the strong attack. You need to plan for it. Try to avoid it if possible, depending on where you are on the screen. So you have to consider what your opponent gets as return when they hit you normally and when they hit you as a counter hit, and work your way from there. If you can do that, then you will be really strong against these moves. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you guys feel like it, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.